you're in my domain. Got the whole crowd screaming out our name. It's a blowout, it's a hurricane, it's over. Before you know it, we're gonna stand on top with our hands in the sky. Gonna raise our cup to the stadium lights for the glory, for the glory. We celebrate with the city tonight. Hear the hometown cheer, it's the ultimate high. For the glory, we do it for the glory.
Good afternoon and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2018 LOL Varsity League Spring Term. Of course, we'll be your shoutcasters for this next game. I'm Atlas. With me is Arctic.
Yes, and man, oh man, what a series of events that have transpired so far. But, you know, heading into this game, of course, iAcademy going to be taking the stage once again. Not just iAcademy, but AMA University as well. So we're looking at a scenario wherein AMA has been making quite a bit of a climb up the ladder recently. Meanwhile, iAcademy still looking
very much in the struggle right now.
Yeah, that's an accurate way to put it, actually. But hopefully, I'm really hoping that we'll see at least one win off of iAcademy before the term ends.
That is the hope of a lot of the fans of the Game Changers here, as we see AMA around the middle of the pack. It seems like they're doing pretty well around that area as they're tied for 4 wins with a lot of other teams here. As for Game Changers from iAcademy, they really want to get at least 1 win here in order to want to end a group stage with 0 wins. Seems like they have to really try and burn their eyebrows trying to get this win here.
Yeah, and hopefully they can pull it off because, as we mentioned, unfortunately, Sinigang is not with them today. Who's actually playing right now is Kinu, their manager, as an emergency substitution due to Sinigang's unfortunate circumstance. But nonetheless, of course, very high hopes for iAcademy this game. I mean, even though they haven't raked up a single win, I still think they have their merits. They still have their potential strengths that they could capitalize on. It just hasn't quite worked out. I mean, there's been a number of games wherein they almost had it, but at the last moment, just goes to show that kaya naman talaga nila.
iAcademy Game Changers is by no means a bad team. They definitely have a lot of potential. It just hasn't been working well as a cohesive unit so far, but they do have a lot of talent, a lot of potential, and we're going to see if they can try and eke out some value, some win from that potential that they have, at least in this game against AMA.
Hopefully. I mean, fingers crossed. I'm pretty sure, as Atlas mentioned, yung mga sumusuporta sa iAcademy has, take my energy, iAcademy, but that's not for iAcademy, not for AMA University. I mean, this was something that I was discussing on social media just the previous week, wherein can anybody stop them at this point? Ever since we saw them unleash their hidden weapon, known as Spelts in the top lane, combine that with Relapse, finding his groove finally back in the LVL, we've seen quite the ascent from AMA. So hopefully it continues for them, because there were a lot of questions raised within the first few weeks, but I think those questions have pretty much been answered with their rebound these past few weeks.
Yeah, pretty much. They're becoming a very scary force. Just going back into the game, they're rising up the ranks. They've already passed basically the middle of the pack, and now they want to go for gold.
Go for gold indeed. Hopefully, I mean, they did
challenger.
Actually, but in all fairness to them, that was something that was almost within their grasp the previous term. So hopefully they can make up for lost ground this time around with newfound confidence in their sub-top laner currently taking the stage. Really working well.
Definitely going to be very excited to see how this game will go, because even if we're going to frame it like, iAcademy wants 1 win, also AMA, because they are in the middle of the pack. Every loss pushes them behind others that are also at 4 wins, and they really want to be as high as they can in the standings going into the playoffs. Of course, let's get into the pick and ban phase. AMA Clash Masters versus iAcademy Game Changers.
So let's go ahead and see what's gonna be taken away. One thing that I have determined though from AMA Clash Masters is that as far as what compositions that they've gone for, very high octane, very high damage across the board. They don't usually go for these other compositions that are a bit more well-rounded, wherein if plan B doesn't work out, at least we still have plan B, plan C. No, they just go straight off plan A. Damage, damage, damage. We gotta pull ahead.
It's all or nothing, basically. They want to double down on being able to go in and then just crawl out of the fallout. Basically,
Right.
if they don't get that win, it's basically it's either 100 or 0 for these guys. And the first pick that they're prioritizing here, Kaisa, definitely in that mindset where you're a Kaisa. If you go in with Killer Instinct, it's either you get out as a sole survivor or you're just blasted out of Eternity.
And you have to take into account, this is the same Kaisa that we saw earlier land the pentakill.
Oh, yeah.
For Relapse. I mean, that was just an amazing performance. So I'm actually surprised that iAcademy not banning that out, considering Relapse is fantastic
Yeah, it
performance.
seems like they're much more scared of the mid lane, top lane, and the jungle priority here. As for iAcademy, picking up the Ezreal and the Braum here in the bot side, definitely a very safe lane if they want to stave off the damage of that Kaisa. As for AMA, still very, very consistent with how they like playing. Go all in, go big or go home. They have the Jax, just dive in there with that hyper carry madness. As for the mid lane, Niebe on that Zed, he wants to be able to kill very quickly. As for iAcademy, Import picking up that Lissandra of his.
Yeah, and in all fairness, Lissandra, we have seen this not necessarily in the LVL, but to much success in the recent Globe Conquerors promotionals. So we'll just have to see. You know, still somewhat okay, especially if I'm not mistaken as well. Import does have history on this particular champion, but looking at the draft that May has as well, it's basically a rehash of their previous draft from the last game.
It seems like they're very, very consistent. As I said, they definitely have one strategy and it works. It's been working so far for them. But if they do pick up this Nasus, which is a little bit weird considering the rest of the composition, they do lock it in. They do lock it in for the top side with the jungle Jax. This is gonna, I think, gonna change up the high octane dynamic here, because Nasus, he's a very chill dog, very, very chill doggo. So the top side just wants to farm it out. iAcademy, they respond to it. This guy can actually go for a flex, like the Jarvan can go for the top side, and then the Trundle can go to the jungle, or vice versa. We'll just see how it all plays off here.
Very
Hyo
interesting.
And his top laner right here.
I'm somewhat surprised by AMA's draft, but for iAcademy, I like that Oro and Kino gonna go for the Ezreal Braum. Very, very classic bot lane.
Very safe
There's a lot
as
of
well.
exactly.
A lot of all-in potential if they do want to as well. Like if they see Relapse in a moment of weakness where he can't fight back, that's a lot of damage coming his way. But of course, looking at the composition here, Game Changers, they have a lot of engaged potential. They have Cataclysm. They have the Frozen Tomb here coming from Import. They have the counter engage with a Glacial Fissure. Can it beat out Clash Master's dive potential, as well as the late game potential they have from Jax, Nasus, and Kaisa? But of course, let's see how all of that plays out here in the next game we have for the LVL, AMA Clash Masters versus iAcademy Game Changers. We're going to see how all this is going to end up.
Yes, man. Oh, man. This is it, guys. If you want to see iAcademy rake up their first win, make sure to direct your hands. Give them all your energy right now as they enter this game against AMA, who, in all fairness, has been building up quite the momentum. So I'd say AMA definitely looking like the favorites for this game, but I'm all for these surprise upsets, personally.
I do think that iAcademy still has a lot of potential with this composition here. If they can stop AMA's high-octane energy short, then that is going to punish AMA hard.
And with the composition that iAcademy has, I feel like they have that potential. Like I mentioned, what I like about how they've been drafting is there's always a lot more precaution with how they go about their drafts. Even though they might falter a bit within the earlier phases, at least there's that plan B, plan C that they can work with. And from what I see here, like I mentioned, I like this Ezreal Braum bot lane. If that goes RE, sure, there's a lot more that they could work with, especially in teamfights, like with this Lisan, with this Jarvan the Fourth, with the Trundle. So there's a lot that they could do with this particular composition, as opposed to AMA, who once again, there's a little bit more of a forward direction that they need to go.
Just go one direction here. And as for AMA, it's like they're a freight train, right? If you're a freight train, you collide with something. It either gets crushed to bits, or it stops you and everyone riding your freight train gets into a really bad accident. So AMA really needs to be careful with how they pull the trigger here. But of course, setting up in the early game, that's going to be quite crucial. That is going to set up Zoe's start in the jungle, as well as if Hyo can get the early pressure that the Jarvan always wants.
One thing that I'm looking for here from iAcademy is that, with the exception of Oro and Kino, the rest of everybody else, so long as they don't falter within the earlier phases, I think the thing is that what iAcademy wants to avoid is somewhat of a similar effect from their previous games, wherein the enemy just gets a massive snowball. So I think this time around, as long as they could just kind of keep it chill within the earlier phases, if not try to get the lead, then that's pretty good.
Seems like that is going to be the case here. As for his top side, it's a little bit of a trade-off. Right now, Suede doesn't really want to fight too much. He can pressure spells a lot, make sure that Nasus doesn't get really ahead, but he has to fear Zoe's ganks as well, seeing as he has controlled his top side Skull Crab. Being able to get that is a huge advantage in vision as well as just that general goal and experience in his side.
Ooh, meanwhile, looking up towards the spot lane. So it's just been both Relapse and Oro getting a nice farm up, and just very classic for AMA's bot lane. As tutorials would say, stay behind your minions, and by doing just that, allows them to avoid potential pressure coming in from both Oro and Kinu.
Definitely. As for mid lane, Niebe, staying behind his minions is going to be more dangerous in this case because Import can use those minions. Actually, he's going to try and go for a little bit of damage onto Import. Has to be careful. Heals around the corner. Seems like he's looking for a gank on this very much pushed bot side. They don't know it's coming. They should have an idea, but it doesn't seem like they're trying to go for it. Gonna go for the fight here. You're gonna deal a lot of damage to Kino. He's in a little bit of danger. Unbreakable is the one saving his life here as Ken Frost gets taken down. First blood goes to Hio. Hio still wants blood. He has the red buff taken. Relapse is gonna take a lot of damage. No flash, no heal. Just has the supercharge to get away.
Very well played by Hio. Right place at the right time. But then again, I also have to kind of question AMA University's overextension there. I mean, the fact that they were just way too in deep on iAcademy side, they had no business going that far without proper vision.
Was on the opposite side of the map, so AMA, that was huge disrespect to the bot side and jungler of iAcademy by pushing up so far there. I mean, they were getting a lot of pressure onto Oro, but that just turns the table on them.
And this is what I've been talking about earlier, wherein as far as expectation,
Suede, very nice. Doesn't even need to use too much except his flash.
But yeah, as I was saying, like as far as expectation, the people that I would kind of see lead the fray, it would most likely be Oro and Kinu. The rest of everybody else can take it a bit more easier, but the fact that AMA giving that upper up to the bot lane of iAcademy just gives them a bit, gives this Ezreal Braum a bit more power amidst these trades.
Doesn't seem like they feel it too much, however. It seems like Relapse still staying in lane. Gonna just recall here, get his first back with the wave in a pretty decent spot for him. As for mid lane, Niebe and Import still really juking it out here, just waiting for each other to make a mistake in the all-in. Lots of damage coming here from Niebe.
Oh man, Import, it would be ideal if he hopefully reaches level 6 before Niebe could, because Niebe, once he hits his ultimate, you just know that he could go for the full burst onto the Slasanda.
And Import needs his Frozen Tomb to actually stop that at this stage of the game.
Okay, looks like Import will be going back though. Has teleport though, so could easily go back to lane, but still has to take that precaution as Niebe is level 6 this time around.
As for topside, Spells is really punishing Suede here. Seems like Suede has not been able to get a good back. And so, because Spells has the Sheen, is really punishing, and Suede can't really fight him at this point in the game. So, man, Spells, he's having a comfortable lane at the top side, especially since Hio is not helping him just yet.
Oh man, speaking of Hio, is lingering towards this mid lane. Sometime around, this could be a great set, even with Hio not having his ultimate just yet. I mean, just the potential lockdown that Import could grant onto Niebe if ever Niebe goes.
I think this is the time that Hio can go help out his top side. Spells is going to try and fight back. That's a lot of damage coming from his ultimate. He could actually take down Hio with another soul side, but here comes Import to save the day, and Import takes the kill.
Great play coming in from Import, making the move to head up towards top side.
They want revenge here. Niebe go for Import with the ultimate already expended. Niebe gets a very easy kill. Doesn't even need to spend his own death mark.
Great read coming in from AMA. As soon as Import made his way towards top side, calculating, okay, he's most likely going to be passing by here. Let's go catch him off guard, and just a great takedown.
Man, Spells really powerful, even at this stage of the game, as Nas is just constantly very good farming, has the ultimate for the health and the Sheen for so much pain. So Import, Zoe might be in trouble. Hio and Kino have him between a rock and a hard place. Niebe needs to help him out. He still has his death mark. Can he get over and help his friend? Zoe gets taken down, and now it's just going to be Niebe against 2. He still has his death mark. He's not popping it just yet. Now he's going to go for Hio. Gets the burst damage. He can teleport back to the shadow. He does, and reunites with the rest of his bot side. Relapse gets a kill on Kino.
Luckily, AMA able to balance things out there in what ends in actually a 1-for-2, if I'm not mistaken. So actually not bad for AMA, despite the gutsies.
There's a lot of guts there. Zoe is really trying so hard to actually get that blue buff. It actually pays off for his team, equalizes the kills that iAcademy got earlier. He has to be careful. Import does not have his ultimate, so Niebe can go for a turn here if Import is not careful. Take note,
Niebe's ultimate is down right now, though. Will's Import ultimate is near coming up. So long as he could just dodge around those skill shots and what damage Niebe will go for. But
Suede is around here. He's going to go for the cutoff, but Niebe goes for the gutsy play, but he gets snared. Has the Hex Drinker to try and get that last bit of damage. However, Suede takes him down. Thumbs up from the jungler.
Fortunately, even though he has that shield from the Hex Drinker, hell, it's not going to help him against those chomps from the Trundle. And with that, looks like AMA gonna try to get a trade off by going for this Dragon though, amidst Niebe getting taken down.
A little bit of a dangerous move here, seeing as Zoe, this is only 2 of them, this is only Kenfrost and Zoe, so they can get collapsed on, but seems like Import does not want to. He's gonna jump over. Very good combo to escape out of that pit.
Yep, they'll be just fine. Kinu gonna try to spot him out, but clean escape coming in from AMA amidst potential Mission Impossible, but so far, I gotta say, a lot of the fights that we've been seeing here, especially from AMA, what casualties that they have suffered is mostly coming from their proactivity, and amidst that proactivity, a few miscalculations here and there, but overall, we're still seeing things equal. In fact, AMA is still up by a few hundreds.
Yeah, and I think this is all concentrated around Niebe and Spelts here. Actually, completely on Spells. Look at his CS compared to Sway. That is almost double the value. Niebe wants to go for Import, but the rest of the squad is here. It seems like he's just going to get beat down by 3 members. He's going to try and fight back, but Niebe gets frozen to death with Import.
I'm loving the proactivity from iAcademy. Where was this these past few weeks? Sure, we have seen those hints, but again, like I mentioned, at a time like this, just want to try to at least win 1 game to end the term.
They have a lot of potential, a lot of chances this game. Even though their bot lane, he's doing pretty decently. Mid lane, Import's actually doing pretty great considering he's against Niebe here. Yo has been ganking him a lot, but still, iAcademy needs to be careful. We need to be able to get Spelts in the gutter.
Need to try to keep things up here. Although, in all fairness, like a lot of the action that we have seen from iAcademy mostly towards this mid, but okay. But yeah, I'd have to agree with you there, Atlas. I mean, Spells at the same time just going to continue to build up on stacks.
It's just going to keep growing.
Exactly. And in which case, if it comes to a point where we do reach a fuller 5v5, they're going to have to kind of divide their resources here as far as crowd control, ways that they could keep AMA in bay. Like, who do we choose? Do we hold down Niebe? Do we hold down Zoo? Or do we hold down Spells, who's starting to build up on massive stacks? So there's all the more threats coming in from AMA, and that's the nature of their composition.
They have to be absolutely careful, but with this kind of composition, they can definitely stop AMA short if they want to charge in. They just have so many disengaged tools, so many tools to just CC and lock them down and trap them if AMA tries to go for anything too gutsy.
Bottom line is that iAcademy, they can't afford to slow down at this point. They should continue to build up on this momentum, try to go for these constant pickoffs where in AMA, sure, they might have damage across the board, but if iAcademy is ahead, then not only can they go head-to-head in terms of damage, but also at the same time, they have the tools to hold down AMA, which AMA is kind of lacking in right now. Like I mentioned, kind of go big or go home in this scenario.
They just have to always be careful because Spelts, Niebe, they're going to be basically distractions here. Spelts is a very high threat, very tanky member once after he builds his Triforce. And it's going to be very, very dangerous if Relapse is able to get his stacks off with his caustic wounds on his passive.
This might be a tad bit of a slowdown for the meantime from AMA, though. As you can see, Hio has been across the board.
Seems like 2 junglers might meet each other. Zoe could be in trouble if he's not careful. He's going to try and clear this ward. I do think they're going to pull the trigger here, but he has the ward safely to try and go with a jump. However, this is going to be 3 members wailing on him. No chance to get out of there. Zoe thought he was safe, but unfortunately, he wasn't. But Hio tries to go and avenge his friend. Hio going to get popped almost by the death mark and the ignite. Yebe still wants him. Dodges the knockup with his living shadow, and Yebe has to run away with Suede. He's still very, very painful, even to the only Ninja Tabis. As for this bot lane, Canfrost wants to go for something against Relapse and Oro. Canfrost will go for this support. Killer Instinct to try and go in there. However, Kino's a little bit too tanky for his taste. Canfrost can't really go back into the fight. He just try and go for a small heal, but it seems like Relapse, his plan backfired, and double kill goes to Oro.
Meanwhile, there is still action happening towards the top side here. Lysandra was taken down by Speltz, managing to respond in the nick of time before iAcademy could chase down Niebet to the punch, but yeah, so far, just trades across the board, I'd say there's a lot more value to iAcademy towards that bot lane.
Yeah, definitely. Bot side. Getting a double kill is just golden for Oro. Let's break that down, Arctic.
Yeah, so as far as this chase that happened here, like I mentioned, Speltz managed to respond in the nick of time, luckily. Goes for the naturally squishier feasible target here in the form of Import. And just manages to get that smackdown. Niebe luckily survives to tell the tale thing. It was a bit dangerous though. Speltz was a bit late in the response, but as long as Niebe didn't fall, then I'd say things are
it was a very good decisive move there by Speltz to deny the blast cone from Import. Definitely could have been used as a means of escape, but there he gets the kill. Seems like iAcademy and AMA, they're butting heads. They're butting heads so hard right now.
Oh man, meanwhile, looking at iAcademy's reach, so far I gotta give commendations to Yo. A lot of the reason why I'm seeing most of these plays that iAcademy has been, what they have been able to make so far is mostly because of this Jarvan the 14 all across this map. Not just that, I guess, but I also have to give kudos to Oro and Kino, who just in these 2v2s have been managing to hold out on their own, but looks like Amy might try something.
Yeah, they have to be careful, though, because this could potentially become a 2v3 if they're not careful.
Looks like Import and Yebe are meeting back here in this mid lane, but so far, we have reached a bit more of AMA. It's a bit of a different pace here, but at the same time, I'm wondering if them slowing down is much more in respect to iAcademy, what lead that they have so far, or them just realizing that, you know, we should probably take it a bit easier because of what casualties we've been incurring. But in all fairness, despite the difference in terms of kills, Gold is still pretty close-knit.
Definitely, and as he said, both of these teams definitely have huge windows to win here. They have their win conditions. AMA really wants to go in here, and they will actually pull the trigger onto Kino. Relapse will get trapped, has to flash over. Oro and the rest still trying to press the assault here onto Canfrost. Both teleports going to be burned here. This is going to be a brawl in this Tri-Brush. Spells so tanky, dealing so much damage. Opens it up for Niebe. He's going to go and dive in onto Hio. Might get popped by the death mark. Just survives. It's finished off by Relapse, and now Import going to be the only one left in the fray, and Oro has to jump away.
That was...
Oh, he wants to go still for Niebe. Could go in for this, but so dangerous. Relapse still wants him. Gets the kill onto Niebe here. And seems like Oro is very satisfied with that. However, they need to mind what is happening on their turret here. Getting taken down by Spells so quickly with his Strike Force.
Man, Niebe had no business trying to go with the rest of iAcademy. iAcademy is already going for the response to persuade that Ezreal away, but still, Niebe walked with him. But let's check out what happened here. So, knockup initiate onto Kino here. Take note, this is a Braum. And these are a bit more of the healthier members that AMA was going for at the moment. But I think the tricky thing here is that Oro, you have to take note, missed out on his two-shot barrage. And at this point, AMA, because of the massive damage that I've been saying, sure, iAcademy is ahead, but that doesn't mean that they can withstand all that damage just yet. And one thing that I'd also like to note here is that this was just the 4v4 in the works. The Jax was like way up towards the top side. So
yeah, that's actually pretty messy fight from both sides. But I think iAcademy's biggest mistake there, they could have avoided a lot of casualties if they respected the teleport from Speltz. They stuck around thinking, okay, once Speltz teleports here, we're going to gang up on him and kill him. But This is a Nasus. He has his own way of increasing his maximum HP. He has decent defensive stats in with a Spectre's Cowl and the Kindle Gem, as well as so much damage from his Soul Siphon as well as his Triforce. So they have to respect that. They have to recognize, okay, AMA, their top laner, could teleport here. He deals so much damage. It's hard to kill him. We need to get out, or at least make some space between us and that teleport.
That's definitely the problem that iAcademy has to work with right now. Try to resolve at least, because everyone else, they've managed to keep at bay, except for Speltz there, who proved to be not only pretty beefy in terms of what damage he can take personally.
Oh, yeah, but what's to go for Oro here? Goes for the death mark. Oro is trying to survive so hard, but it's going to be very difficult. Gets Nieve to half health, unfortunately, gets executed, stabbed in the gut.
Weird pathing coming in from Oro there amidst that kiting, but at the end of the day, mission accomplished for Nieve.
Speltz versus Sway here. This is just going to be a beatdown fight between two people with large gloves, but it seems like Suede cannot match the damage coming from the stacks and the Soul Siphon of Spells. Not even Subjugate is going to help him subjugate this Nasus.
In all fairness to iAcademy, I commend the effort in the earlier game, but still, what was left unchecked was Speltz managing to free farm like there's no tomorrow, even with Sway towards the top side. I mean, just to see its differences speak for itself and what damage Speltz was able to deal in that previous clash. So, still waiting for what potential solution iAcademy could have to that, because at this point in time, it's very clear that 1v1, the Trundle can't deal with that Nasus alone. They have to commit at least more than one member to deal with that Nasus.
And Trundle is the popular tank buster, and him getting busted down by this tank, ain't that a kick in the head?
Oh man, definitely.
Just having the tables turned on him right there.
So I think at the end of the day, this definitely puts iAcademy in an awkward situation heading into this mid game. Everyone else that they can deal with, but once Spelt starts rendezvousing with the rest of AMA, that's where things get all the more trickier.
Has to be absolutely careful here. At this point, it was dead even earlier, AMA versus iAcademy, but here, AMA, with the way they've been playing this mid-game, with how Spells has been dominating, with how Zoe and Nieve have been getting good picks, they're slowly getting a foundation of gold here with 3,700 gold ahead. Here, they're going to try and go for Suede here. Going to try and dissuade them with a pillar, however. It's still not going to stop the push coming from Spells, and Zoe is going to try and move elsewhere to help the other team.
In this mid lane, looks like Relapse and Ken Frost have things covered here. So this is the tricky part. We've seen iAcademy, they've been pretty active within the first 10 to 13 minutes of the game. But
man, that is going to be Yo going for the initiation. Very messy, very big brawl here, but seems like iAcademy wants to beat them down. It's going to be Zoe getting taken down as well, and Ken Frost has to run away. iAcademy gets a chance to push this mid lane.
Oh man, just like that, iAcademy, great play right there. Again, if ever they make it out of this game with a win, I gotta give kudos again to this Jarvan the Fourth, enabling the rest of iAcademy with these beautiful sets.
I love the decisiveness of that play. They know Spells had teleport, but they also knew that he didn't have a good space or a good spot to teleport to. Plus, they finished that fight before any teleport could have happened. Very quickly, they see a target, they jump on it with a Cataclysm, with the rest of the damage, with the Glacial Fissure. It's just over in a flash. So iAcademy has that potential as well that we've been talking about. AMA, they want to go in hard. iAcademy can also go in very, very hard.
Yeah, let's go ahead and see though, can AMA look for something to counter that? Because iAcademy, in all fairness, they did get some value off going all the way to second tier, but then again, even with that, still the gold tilts slightly towards AMA regardless. So I think it ultimately comes down to where everyone is at in terms of CS. Almost everybody's up in CS in comparison to their counterparts. Sure, probably not support, but that doesn't really count.
It doesn't really count, especially since Kino has the Rex Shield upgrades compared to Ken Frost. But that aside, AMA is in a pretty good spot. They have 2 Ocean Drakes, so they can constantly go around the map. They can pressure one lane. If they get poked out by Oro and Import, it's okay. They can just back off, get some regen, and then try it out again in the same lane or rotate to another and try and pressure it. this potential for a mix-up because of this sustain means iAcademy needs to be a lot more careful. It's going to be Oro going to be the target of Niebe. He has enough damage with a Shadow Slash, but the rest of their backline is left open. However, Hio does not get a good Cataclysm, and the Glacial Fissure does not give them a lot of value. Speltz is around a corner. He wants to go for import. He wants to take down the other members. This is a signal for the rest of iAcademy to try and get out of here. For the rest of AMA, however, but they are still going strong. They want the rest of the members of iAcademy. They want this mid lane turret.
Yeah, some mistakes were made right there for iAcademy. It all came down to Oro finding himself in a missed position on the map. But
they might still go for this fight. Speltz is still full health. Canfrost gets taken down. This is a 2v3. However, Speltz is so tanky. He takes so much damage. He heals it back up with his natural lifesteal, and Relapse still very, very healthy here. He can still go for this kiting if he can. Gets trapped by the turret, and I think he can flash over, try and cleanse away, but I think Speltz just leaves him behind. Another kill goes to iAcademy.
Yep, the doggo goes where he pleases in this case.
Ain't that a hole in the boat?
Yep. And just leaves Relapse just like that. But then again, that's just characteristic of a dog, a stubborn dog and its owner, you know?
Thought dogs are supposed to be loyal and
yeah,
wait for
not in this case. Not at all.
He's the alpha dog here. He is the alpha. And rarely, he has a lot of items here. Let's see how that replay ends up on this top side.
Yeah, so Niebe actually getting caught out here, gets slowed down by Suede, and Suede just goes straight, and Niebe tries to go for an outrun, but just caught in this pillar, nowhere to run at all. So
yeah, he really tried to play around that pillar there.
And
ring around a Rosie.
Yeah, but look at this though. Another set coming in from AM. Unfortunately, that was too much of an overextend by Canfrost. You have to take into account that there are tools from iAcademy to hold down the fort amidst AMA going for these aggressive plays. So probably not the best positioning.
Too.
Exactly. And like we mentioned, unfortunately, Alpha Doggo Speltz needed left Relapse there for death.
He really needed that red buff.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of like seeing a bone, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you wouldn't want to stick to your owner when you see a nice juicy treat.
Yeah, and then again, that owner was pretty much dead already. 3 members jumping on him, but of course, moving on to the next few minutes of this game, it's still relatively in AMA's favor. They have, as I said, they have 2 Ocean Drakes. They have a lot more options because of that. Go for the mix-up around the map. Rotations could be how they win this, and just generally being able to siege more.
Ooh, meanwhile, just noticed. Okay, looks like Speltz
gonna solo this. This is actually really nice. iAcademy doesn't really have an idea. As long as they don't accidentally hit any of these disabled wards, Relapse and Speltz can do this very quickly. iAcademy really needs to wonder, where's Relapse? Where's Speltz? I wonder where they are. 2 very high damage carries. I wonder what they're doing. It seems like they get this very, very sneakily.
And looks like mission accomplished. Surprise, surprise to iAcademy. AMA securing that Baron. Looks like that just got them off guard. Definitely.
They didn't expect that at all, but they needed to respect that. Speltz, he has the damage, he has the tankiness, and the lifesteal as well. And Relapse has percentage health damage and a lot of attack speed. So it really should be no-brainer that if both of them are not in the map, while the other members, the other 3 members, are still actively moving around the map, visible in your map, that should be a big giveaway.
Well, looks like AMA gonna go for more here, Mountain Drake, and who wouldn't want to go for a Mountain Drake to complement that Baron? That's just gonna give them infinitely better siege potential.
Speltz is gonna love this Mountain Drake. When he queues a turret, that is just gonna get taken down from the foundation.
And that's going to be a massive deficiency that iAcademy has to work with. I mean, even though iAcademy might have power in these team fights whenever Speltz isn't around, the fact that if they have to take a fight elsewhere on the map, that just allows Speltz to get a free shove in all the way. And it's scary to think of just how much Speltz can get in one straight siege.
Definitely. It's going to be quite scary indeed. What more if Speltz has Demolisher? He doesn't, by the way. But that would have been so scary if he did. Look at that. He's just ignoring Hio. At this point, Hio's damage plateaus because he didn't build full AD. And even then, he wouldn't have the sustained damage to fight against us. Even if this is a 1v2. Well, of course, Oro and the rest of the squad are around. He can just go straight and shoot the dog at this point. He tries to get away with a flash, but unfortunately too late. AMA was not able to try and help him out there. A bit too far, but look at that bot side Zoe taking down the third-tier turret in the bot side. They can set this up for more pressure.
That was what we were talking about earlier, Atlas. In order for iAcademy to deal with spells, they have to commit more than one member, and that's what happens. By committing more members, they allow the rest of AMA to just split elsewhere. And really effective
Such
getting the
great
kill.
split pushers too. Zoe on this Jax. Definitely a lot of damage consistently on these turrets. And we don't even have to talk about spells with that push potential of that Nasus. They just have to be very careful. But even if they do get caught out, iAcademy is really pressed for options here.
Yeah, there's really starting to close out, and this is such a shame because earlier they had such great control, able to get all those pickoffs off on AMA University, but we've come to a point wherein spells is just a problem.
Yeah, right now, iAcademy just needs to play a little more defensively, wait out the Baron buff. But look at that, spells making sure that they're not just pressured, but they're crushed under the force.
Ooh, meanwhile, looks like iAcademy is mounting up quite good defense here.
Frost is looking for an opening.
Yeah, exactly. And see, look at this. iAcademy, they couldn't even go all in to stop this.
Look at this. You're just going to slowly eat away their defenses here. These turrets are going to get taken down. Import in quite a dangerous spot. Both inhibitors down in the side lanes. Now the mid lane might be the last nail in the coffin here for iAcademy. AMA's not even fighting them. They're just building up a huge minion wave, using their mounted rig, using their heavy pushers to try and go for it. They're actually going to go for a fight here. Frost diving in, Lee giving lots of space for the rest of his team. iAcademy fighting back with a vengeance, takes down Yebe, takes down Zoe, not yet, but they are going to try and go for relapse. Killer Instinct to try and shield a little bit of damage, cleanses away just to avoid that CC, but it seems like for now, Spells is going to be possibly the sacrificial dog here, but he's dealing so much damage. Import has to use everything to run away. He's so tanky, he's regenerating so much from lifesteal, but the dog goes down. The Mad Dog gets taken down, but for now, iAcademy has defended, but AMA, they're just waiting for the next opportunity.
Man, opportunity indeed. AMA got so much out of that. Sure, iAcademy was able to successfully defend, but if you're going to consider where they're at right now, they're pretty much limited to their base at this point because of everything that they've lost amidst AMA shove. In all fairness, this is where you could honestly say na sobrang sulit yung nakuha ng AMA off of that Baron.
Definitely, and it's just a lot of value. They have so much freedom. Just having those 3 inhibitors down means that they can muster for battle, go for AMA, build up those minion waves. Those super minions will be their key to closing out this game. Just smack down on onto these Nexus turrets as well. iAcademy, they need to be able to pull the trigger once AMA tries and forces the win. They have so many tools here, but they just have to know how to pick their targets. Frost, if he dives in, they can possibly CC him down, but that leaves so much else for AMA to work with.
Okay, let's see. AMA, they are starting to converge for the potential finish here. iAcademy, they need to put up the biggest defense of their lives.
Oh man, that is going to be a tall and tough order. iAcademy really wants this. They don't want to end this 5th game still without a win, but AMA, they're in the middle of the pack. They want this win. They want to get ahead. They want to be more than the middle. They want to go for the win. Everyone dives in here. Relapse as well, jumps behind everyone with the help of Yebe. He's taking down a lot of their members quick. And Relapse gets taken down, but the rest of iAcademy also gets into the chopping block. And AMA, very decisively, they're going to win this game against iAcademy Game Changers.
Yes, GG, well played. AMA University continuing to climb the ladder after a successful victory.
Oh boy.
Woo, woo, woo. Man,
that was a pretty good game. Very well fought there by iAcademy. You saw those sparks of potential there. They were set up to at least get a good lead over AMA, but AMA, they played that way well.
Yes, and this is what I'm talking about right here. We're in iAcademy, by no means. Still definitely a great contender in the LVL. Like, if you're gonna look at all the games past, sure, they might have had games which were a bit one-sided towards the enemy, but it's moments like this where we see that potential. It's just that, again, there's that fine-tuning that needs to be done. Hopefully in following terms to come, we'd see that, but for now, it's definitely still something that
they played that pretty well and iAcademy, even with that good setup, there were just some glaring problems that they weren't able to deal with, such as spells, and that was basically the nail in the coffin for them. Spells not being dealt with. They pretty much underestimated him in every fight, and they paid for it heavily.
So hopefully right then and there, I mean, even though that might have been a deficiency for iAcademy, AMA University at the same time, definitely a little bit more wonky towards the earlier phases. But of course, Spelts just being Spelts, I mean, there's a reason we've been calling him the secret weapon, was just left unchecked. Sure, there was a gank from iAcademy in the earlier phase, but after that, there wasn't really much a solution to the growing difference in CS that we've been seeing between that Nasus and Trundle. And that just goes to show that, sure, the Trundle was able to contribute in those smaller fights to bigger team fights, but just the 1v1 in general, that was still a big problem.
Well, that's all we have for iAcademy versus AMA, folks. That was very well played by AMA and well fought by iAcademy, but that's not going to be the last match we have for today. We have other collegiate games. We'll ask for later. We've been your shoutcasters for this game. I'm Atlas. With me was Arctic, and we'll be seeing you in more esports action after a short break. To go in here, and they will actually pull the trigger onto Kino. Relapse will get trapped, has to flash over. Oro and the rest still trying to press the assault here onto Kenfrost. Both teleports gonna be burned here. This is gonna be a brawl in this Tribrush. Spells so tanky, dealing so much damage, opens it up for Niebe. He's gonna go and dive in onto Hio, might get popped by the death mark, just survives, it's finished off by Relapse, and now Import gonna be the only one left in the
15 minutes of the game.
But man, that is gonna be Hio going for the initiation. Very messy, very big brawl here, but seems like iAcademy wants to beat them down. It's gonna be Zoe getting taken down as well, and Kenfrost has to run away. AMA's not even fighting them, they're just building up a huge minion wave, using their mounted drink, using their heavy pushers to try and go for it. They're actually gonna go for a fight here. Kenfrost diving in, Lee giving lots of space for the rest of his team. iAcademy fighting back with a vengeance, takes down Niebe, takes down Zoe, not yet, but they are going to try and go for Relapse. Killer Instinct to try and shield a little bit of damage, cleanses away just to avoid that CC, but it seems like for now, Spells is going to be possibly the sacrificial dog here, but he's dealing so much damage. Import has to use everything to run away. He's so tanky, he's regenerating so much from lifesteal, but the dog without a win. But AMA, they're in the middle of the pack. They want this win. They want to get ahead. They want to be more than the middle. They want to go for the win. Everyone dives in here. Relapse as well, jumps behind everyone with the help of Niebe. He's taking down a lot of their members quick. And Relapse gets taken down, but the rest of iAcademy also gets into the chopping block. And AMA, very decisively, they're going to win this game against iAcademy Game Changers.
Yes, GG, well played. AMA University continuing to climb the ladder after a successful victory.